welcome back to Linda's Pantry. So as you see in the title, we're gonna can some sauce. And so what I'm doing is stewed tomatoes and vegetables, and I'm following the recipe. Actually, I'm following the instructions in the ball canning book, and I always refer to that book because it reminds me of the correct temperatures and times and all that stuff, everything I have to do to make sure it's okay. I just picked these tomatoes and peppers this morning out of the garden. I mean, there's a ton of peppers. There's Anaheim peppers. There's these beautiful big bell peppers that came out of my garden, the best bell peppers I've ever grown. I usually don't have very good luck. And then all these tomatoes. And instead of peeling them and chopping them or, dicing them, I'm going to run these through the Victorio Strainer on the salsa screen. I really felt like when I made my salsa, that gave the salsa a nice texture, and I think it'll give this sauce a really nice texture. And so if this inspires you to stay with me for the rest of the canning session, I hope you give me a thumbs up right now, hit that button, and go down in the About section below and check the links that I've left for you so you can go visit those after we're all done. And as always, guys, if you're not a subscriber, hit subscribe so you get notified whenever I upload. All right, I'm going to get to chopping. So these vegetables and the onions are going to go in the Vidalia chopper, and as soon as I get that all done, I set up the Victorio. So I've got the Victorio Strainer all set up. I've got the hopper full of tomatoes that I've cut up, and I'm going to get to putting this through the salsa screen. So it's got larger holes than the other screens, and I bought the accessory screen pack because I needed this one, and it really makes a nice sauce. And so I've got the hopper full. The bowls are ready. They're cleaned and washed. And over here in this pan, I have 4 cups of onion and 2 cups of green bell pepper and Anaheim peppers. So and a whole bulb of garlic, all the cloves off the garlic. So all you do is just start cranking, and the waste goes out one side, and the pulp comes down the track here. So you're going to get a little bit of seed in your with the salsa screen, and a little bit of skin, but not much. And I don't mind. I like tomato seeds, and tomatoes are so good for you. I'll keep working on these tomatoes, and as soon as I get a full little tray full, I will bring you back and show you what we're doing next. And this is all going to go on the stove. So and if you want smaller batches, the ball canning book's recipe is a pretty small batch. I believe it only makes 3 quarts. So I'm kind of doing my own measurements and with my own ingredients, but I'm following the timing to the letter. Okay, guys, be back. So we've got 1 bowl here, and it's a beautiful pulp. It really is. It's pretty, it's red, and it's thick. So it's going to make a fantastic sauce, because quite often I like crushed tomatoes. If I'm going to put them in a sauce, I like them crushed or diced, and this just makes it a little bit easier. It takes that step of having to go ahead and peel them, blanch them and peel them. I'd be here all day, and it's really hard to peel and blanch a little cherry tomato. They're really hard. So as you can see, this 12-quart pot actually is about 3/4 of the way full. So we're going to have plenty to can, and have some for dinner, I suspect, because my canner holds 7 quarts. So, and I'm using the All-American canner, and I will leave a link in the description box below for that if you'd like, because it is the Cadillac of canners. And I'm not saying that just because I own one. I had no idea how nice they are to use, and very, very safe. So that being said, we're going to bring this up to a boil and let it simmer for about 10 minutes till the vegetables are soft. And then we're going to start loading the jars, and the jars are on the sanitize mode in the dishwasher, and they'll be nice and hot, and we'll get our lids hot and ready to go. And all right, I'll start to can it. We are ready to can. And what I've got my lids in hot water. I've got my little bowl of vinegar with a napkin, and I'm going to use citric acid today. You can use lemon juice, and the ball canning book gives you the measurements. So for a quart jar, I would need either 2 tablespoons of lemon juice or 1/2 teaspoon of citric acid. Put that in your jars first. I've got 2 jars sitting here. That assures us that we have the right acidity level. Even though we're pressure canning, we want to make sure that the acid levels are high enough. So this has had a chance, it's simmered, and you simmer it until the vegetables are soft. Not, you know, they're going to get really cooked under the pressure. And it smells so good. It really smells good, and it's beautiful. And so when I open this, I'll be able to thicken it with tomato paste if I want, or just cook it down a little bit. I've got some great recipes planned for this, so we use a lot of this during the year. And last year, because I didn't get a great tomato harvest, I didn't get to do any of this. So now we've got our jar, and it's ready to get that rim wiped off with the vinegar. And I use vinegar just because of habit, and then I pour, that vinegar goes in my canner. So now we're ready to put our lid and ring on, and finger tight, goes in the pressure canner, which I've got that water about 180 degrees, so it won't shock the jar. And these are, I mean, this is hot. This is simmering. But look how beautiful that is. Isn't it gorgeous? So, super excited. Get these in the canner. And I'll bring you back. We're going to can this for 20 minutes once it comes up to pressure. And I use 15 pounds of pressure because of my altitude, so you need to look that up if you're new to canning. And then I let the vent hole vent for 10 minutes and then put the weight on. And when it starts rocking, then we start our timing for 20 minutes. So, and then after the 20 minutes, turn the burner off. Well, guys, here's the end result. And I'm going to tell you what happened. I actually lost the last clip of this video, and I'm not sure how that happened, and where I was taking them out of the canner. So these canned for 20 minutes. This is the next day. And I just got done washing my jars. And what I do is take my ring off and wash with soap and water and a scrubby sponge, and then they're ready to store. And this is how I'm storing my stuff now, is in one of these Ball makes these jar boxes. It's a heavy duty plastic. I did a review on this, and I'm sold on them. I'm reorganizing my extended pantry that holds all my canned goods like this. And maybe I'll bring you along and show you the end result of that if I think that's something you might want to see. But we ended up with 8 quarts, to the letter, 8 quarts full. And we used half of this quart on pasta, and it was so delicious, and it just had that fresh, bright flavor of the garden. I just really loved it. So this is how I store my jars. And this box, because it's semi-clear, you can kind of tell that there's a tomato product in there. But this box, I've got a label at this end, and I just used one of the dissolvable labels from Ball, and I highly endorse these. They rinse right off your jars. They come right off of here. And I've labeled mine on the lids, Stewed Tomatoes 2015. But this box is labeled Stewed Tomatoes and Spaghetti, because here's some quarts of spaghetti that I did with meat that I did back in 2011. And we had some of this the other night, and it's still fantastic. It's so good. So anyways, you just put this lid on, and you're able to stack. These are quite heavy when you've got 12 quarts of stuff in here. But I've got the middle shelf of my rack that I put the quarts on, and the upper shelf is for the pints. And so I'm just in the process of reorganizing that whole thing and making sure I'm rotating my stuff out and keeping that in my mind that I've got to use up that spaghetti sauce before I make any more. And there you go. So I hope that this inspires you to start canning on your own. It's delicious, and you know exactly what went into this. And even if you don't have a garden, maybe you can go to farmer's market and take advantage of the fresh seasonal stuff that they have right now. All right, guys, I can't wait to see you next time for another canning session and or another meal. You never know what's coming up next, so stay tuned because I upload every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. All right. Ooh, I think there's a yummy deal coming up on Saturday, so you better come back. All right. Thumbs up. Bye.